18 fights, 18 wins, no decisions, 100% finishes. How do you like that? This guy doesn't give anyone a chance to stand until the final bell and make scandalous decisions to blind dodges. Finally, the championship fight has come to Kazakhstan. Special respect to you, Dana White, for such a chance and for throwing the champion under the tent. And I present to you my own analysis before the title fight of Belal Muhammad and Shavkat Rakhmonov. Please watch until the end and you will have no doubts about the winner of this confrontation. I will sort out everything and give a lot of interesting information. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel. I want to get to monetization as soon as possible in order to have at least some income and develop further. The final number tournament of this year is UFC 310. There were many questions and discussions about who would headline the event, but Dana White gave the necessary answers and made Kazakhstani fans and others very happy. Rakhmonov made his UFC debut in October 2020 at the very tournament where Khabib Nurmagomedov ended his career. Shavkat immediately showed that he came to smear his opponents and finished Alex Oliveira in the first round. If Belal's finishes are a statistical error, then Rakhmonov has the opposite, impressive statistics. This has already given Shavkat a lot of fans. Laura Sanko, a UFC commentator, is especially crazy about him. Rakhmonov's fights are always spectacular, and it's no coincidence that he is given a little chance. True, with all the killer potential of the Kazakh fighter, there are some questions about the opposition. Of course, there are victories over Neil Magny, Stephen Thompson and Jeff Neal, but these are all fighters from the bottom of the top 10. What will happen when the level of the opposition grows? Besides, Belal Muhammad is a very uncomfortable opponent in terms of style. Sometimes he will wrestle, sometimes he will try to clinch. He is physically strong. Rakhmonov is the favorite, but in almost all his recent fights, Belal was an underdog, but he does not prevent him from winning. In any case, Rakhmonov's title fight is a new turn in history. Kazakhstan can get its first UFC champion, and everyone knows very well how they support their fighters there. And if Shavkat can even get the finish, then his stock will skyrocket. And by the way, Rakhmonov's victory is partly beneficial to Islam Makhachev. He won't fight Belal, this has already been said. But Makhachev is unlikely to refuse a fight with Shavkat, so there will be additional intrigue in the title fight. Undoubtedly, Shavkat will be in excellent shape because he understood that he would inevitably get a little chance and there was enough time to prepare. He will have to do what most of the roster failed to do: beat Belal on all fronts. What to expect from Rakhmonov in the fight? Shavkat will not immediately enter the predator mode, but first tries to break the enemy with a swift jab. Rakhmonov also adds a heavy high kick, but will not rush at times in the first seconds. When he studies the champion's preparation, he will go on the attack with a front kick and a series of right hooks. The Kazakhstani delivered many light blows from different sides to prepare a passage to the body from the front. He understands that he will not immediately complete a takedown, and during the fight, in the stand-up position, he will connect a sharp blow with his knees. Shavkat will try to take the champion to the ground with a trip or at least stagger him with a crushing blow when breaking the hold. On the ground, Rakhmonov will use scorching finishing moves and try to take the back of his rising opponent. Rakhmonov's chances of winning. Shavkat knows how to turn on hard at the most unexpected moments, and it is almost impossible to calculate. He will clearly surprise Belal when he suddenly decides to fight or goes for a takedown at an inopportune moment at a first glance. A couple of such episodes in the round will allow Rakhmonov to take the 5 minutes to his piggy bank, so he has every chance not only to finish but also to win on points. The probability of his success is high due to his strong head as well as killer boxing and long arms. Who is for the challenger's victory? Please give feedback in the comments and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance. Belal became champion only in July, creating an upset at the British tournament UFC 304. The American fighter of Palestinian region simply outworked Leon Edwards in front of his audience and did something that few expected. And the UFC was probably not happy that a non-media figure with 2 finishes in the last 5 years won the belt. But there is another side to the coin. Muhammad is on a streak of 11 fights without defeats, and in recent fights, he really left no chance for Edwards. Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady, who is now in the top 5 and approached the fight with Belal undefeated. Yes, these are victories by decisions, but the champion still performed convincingly. And the title even allowed Belal to slightly pump up his media profile. Could you ever imagine that Conor McGregor would challenge Muhammad to a fight? Another plus for Belal is that he wants to be active. He took the title 3 months ago and he is already ready to defend it. Moreover, defending against a man who instills fear in the entire division. And this is not because the UFC put pressure on him. Muhammad himself stated his desire to fight Shavkat. Belal fought for a long time for a fight for the belt and showed that his strength and wrestling are almost impossible to counter. The champion has been climbing to the top for a long time and has acquired such mental armor that he simply will not allow himself to be broken during a fight. In addition to the fact that Muhammad is a dangerous all-rounder, he's also an excellent tactician, and his main weapon against Rakhmonov will be his fighting intellect. What to expect from Muhammad in the fight? To win, Belal needs to become an inconvenient fighter, so he will constantly change the distance and throw double attacks on the move. After a lazy jab, Muhammad will launch a powerful and clumsy overhand and finish this series with an inside low kick. The champion will rely on low wrestling entrances to take the shin and then act according to the situation. He will immediately let Rakhmonov go if he reaches the cage, but if the Kazakh hesitates, Muhammad will try to complete the takedown. You can also expect Belal to get to the legs after dodging and changing stances. Once on top, the American will try to tie up his opponent and use his elbows. He will leave the challenger a little room to maneuver so that he can fight and use up as much energy as possible. Muhammad's chances of winning. Belal will cling to every mistake the Kazakh makes, and in this fight he is quite capable of winning ahead of schedule. Rakhmonov can forget about head movement, and then the champion will go for his head. If Muhammad feels that his opponent is getting even a little tired, he will try to finish him off on the ground. After all, spending extra minutes on the octagon with Shavkat is a big risk. But it's hard to call Belal the favorite in this fight because Rakhmonov is one of those fighters who will not yield to him in either strength or skill. Who is for the champion's victory? Please give feedback in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks in advance. Muhammad is also an all-rounder with excellent cardio and a good set of skills. The champion doesn't take risks. He can steal rounds, gnaw out points and has decent physical strength. Remember how he threw Edwards? For Shavkat and for any other fighter in the division, Belal's pragmatic style is too awkward. Rakhmonov likes to press, doesn't mind wrestling, but sometimes he gets carried away and lets himself get in the standing position. So Shavkat's defense is not ideal. Muhammad's problem is that he has pillow hands and no one is afraid of his punches. But Belal has gained physical mass, adapts well to his opponents and has gone the distance of 5 rounds many times. But Shavkat has never fought for more than 15 minutes. And what will happen if the fight drags on? Write in the comments. Muhammad had to have 18 fights to fight for the belt. It's all about the champion's style. He's too boring. He wrestles well, can hold in the clinch, works carefully with his hands, but does not strive for the finish. Belal is the perfect option for the phrase, he can do everything, but he does not dominate anywhere. But White does not like boring fighters, so he assigned Muhammad a defense against the main boogeyman of the division, Shavkat Rakhmonov. The thing is that it is impossible to miss Rakhmonov's fights because he always puts on a show in the octagon. Nomad is moving forward. He can miss well. Jeff Neal hit well, but he does not leave the fight to the judges. He always strives for the finish. After all, an early victory is the best option for a fighter, and Shavkat religiously follows this rule. In these last 3 fights, Rakhmonov choked Neil Magny, Jeff Neal and Stephen Thompson, experienced top welterweights, and now their 29-year-old warrior of the steppes is fighting for the belt. So, who will win? Of course, I'm biased since Shavkat is my fellow countryman, and you can help me write your opinion in the comments. That will definitely answer everyone. In the first 10 minutes of the fight, the fighters will test each other in striking. Belal will work more technically in the stand-up, but Shavkat's power and his ability to explode in his hands in time will be more effective. The third and fourth segments will be more wrestling, and here Muhammad will gain the upper hand, who will discover the weak points in the opponent's balance a little faster. The last 5 minutes will be decisive, but its outcome is the hardest to predict because it will go to the one who retains more energy after fierce exchanges. Still, my favorite will of course be my compatriot Shavkat, who is only slightly inferior in technique but can surpass the champion in many other parameters: strength, speed, range of leverage and reaction. Rakhmonov will be unpredictable and therefore he is inconvenient for the rational Muhammad. Shavkat will not give in from a mental point of view because becoming the first UFC champion from Kazakhstan is a huge motivation. Stay safe, stay tuned. And wait, thank you in advance for Boogeyman.